Hello, Tamers, and welcome back to the King's Court. I'm your host, the resident thick boy of our group, Michael, the thick boy 831, obviously, yada yada yada, all that good jazz. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you know when we're uploading daily, and check our social medias. Link will be down below in the description box. So, as of right now, EXO4 has been out for maybe a couple of days now, and I decided to upload a profile of one of the decks I'm playing from that set, which is going to be Twilight Dark Knightmon. This is going to be mono-esque black. I know you can play more of a blue-black build using both the blue flare stuff. I don't have it, and I'm iffy on doing that, so we'll run it like this for right now. Tested it a bit yesterday. Baelstar's interesting matchup, and you actually have a funny matchup with Shine Greymon. Other than that, I haven't tested much. I probably will do more testing this weekend. But yeah. With all that being said, and without further ado, let's get to the profile. So let's start with the Digitamas. Our little Iggies are going to be 4 of the BT6 Pagumon. If you want to play a 5th egg, the Monimon that gives 1k to your Twilight is fine. Alternative, that's actually not bad. It's pretty good. So maybe it'll make your Dark Knights 9k. No, it'll make certain Dark Knight mons, if depending on your Skull Knights, or excuse me, your Deadly Axe mons 10k, which it can mean a lot. So Pokemon is on deletion. You reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a black Digimon, you may add it to hand. If not, put it on the bottom. It's pretty good. You're gonna swing face in most cases, so this actually really helps out. And if you have a stack, it's pretty good with all your other on deletion effects. You could also run Tumblemon to give 1k if your Digimon has blocker, and since Nene will give all your Twilights blocker, it's not bad either. But I like Pokemon just for some aggressiveness. For our rookies, we are playing 4 copies of BT10 Monitamon. Monitamon is very simple. On play, you look top 4, or reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 2 cards that are either black with Knightmon or Deadly Axemon in their names, or with Twilight in their traits among them. Put the rest on the bottom. So this searches itself, Nene, all your Skull Knightmons, all your Deadly Axemons, all your Dark Knightmons, all your Dark Knightmon X's, and your Grey Knightsmon if you're playing it, and your Nene Kirihel, and even the option card we're playing. So it searches everything. That's what I said, a 4 of. Yeah, it's pretty much your favorite rookie. You want to play it more often than you want to Digivolve into it off your egg. But if you got to, you got to. So that can only be said. Next is 4 copies of Promodoramon. So if you don't know what he does, Insecurity, if he gets hit, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a black Digimon card with a play cost of 4 or less, you play without paying the cost, and then you add the remaining cards to your hand. So if you didn't hit a 4 cost, you add it to your hand. Then you add him, so you get 2 cards. You're going to see that we play a pretty high 4 cost or less requirement, so we hit this more often than not. He would Dormon is actually what I would like to Digivolve to more often than not if I have it. If I don't have it in Raising, I'd rather have it in Security. But yeah, it's really good. We do play 2 copies of 2 different Floodgates. So we play 2 copies of Chumon and 2 copies of Chikurimon. Opponent can't gain memory except by tamer effects, and your opponent and players can't reduce play costs. This hurts you more sometimes, but you play this when you're more set up than not. If you don't want to play these, you can take either one of these out and replace it for either the Security Chikurimon, or if you want to put in, say, Sparrowmon to get more of draw power, not draw power, but it's a bigger body and it has Twilight, so it can get blocker because of Nene, and because you have Twilight, it'll be like 6k, so it's pretty good, or 5k. So either one works, or you can take out either one and play more options. It's like Security Bombs. All right, now for the bread and butter. Oh, question of the day, guys. We'd like to see more gameplay of Dark Knightmon. Or are you excited for EX04 in terms of the decks? Or are you waiting for BT13 to really start playing more? Let us know. So, next are some more level 4s, and the first ones we play are 4 copies of BT7 Skull Knightmon. Excuse me. Take a little drink of my tea. So, BT7 Skull Knightmon. When attacking, you may trash all the devolution sources of a deadly Axemon, then place it underneath at the bottom of the sources, and digivolve into a Dark Knightmon from your hand without paying the cost. And inheritable if you have Knightmon or Bogramon in the name, it gets security attack +1. So what you'll do often with this is if you have this in racing and you have a Deadly Axemon on board, you'll bring this out, you'll swing with it, tuck Deadly Axemon and go into a Dark Knightmon. Or depending on the Dark Knightmon you have, like if you have the BT7 one, you'll get, if it gets lead, you'll play these 2 out suspended because if your opponent has it. Then you'll play, then on your turn, you'll swing with this, and then just go to a Dark Knightmon again. Pretty good. Really, really good. It's my pre-release stamp one. It's so nice. The new kid in town. We're playing, so far playing 3 copies of EX04 Skull Knightmon, which is on play if you don't have a Nene. You may play the Nene without paying the cost. And reveal the top card of your, on deletion, reveal the top card if it's a Blue Flare or a Twilight Tree at hand. Trash the rest. And reboot. So once again, it's very similar to Commandramon, this lineup, so it's fine. You don't want to devolve this. You definitely want to play it more often than devolve into it because it's a 3 cost. And it's really good for playing a Nene. If your opponent puts you at like 4 because they play their Memory Tamer, you can play this with say play a Nene search, and then maybe go into Dark Knightmon. Did you want to Dark Knightmon on top of it? And it has reboot and blocker, which is pretty nice. Next, we're playing the the ignoble steed of Dark Knightmon, or excuse me, Skull Knightmon, which is 2 Deadly Axemon for BT7. Deadly Axemon is on play. Reveal the top 5 of your deck. Search for 2 cards with Knightmon in their names, and place them in your hand, and then place the remaining on the bottom of your deck. So he searches everything else. The problem, and I'll say this right now, is that, well, any else inheritable by the way, I forgot to mention it, has reboot as an inheritable. I don't think he grabs Grey Knights because it's Knights, not Knightmon. And then, he gives 2k DP during your turn, so he makes your Dark Knightmon 9k and your X antibody 14. Anyway, so the problem is with him, he is not a Twilight. So he will not gain blocker because Nene, and you can't search him off cards that only search Twilight trait. But thanks to a Dark Knightmon, if you have him on board, you have the Dark Knightmon give him blocker, so he'll be fine anyway. Next, we're playing 2 copies of EX04 Deadly Axemon. So you got an upgrade. So on play, by trashing 1 card with Blue Flare or Twilight in the traits, you may draw 2. And then on deletion, reveal top if it is a Blue Flare or Twilight at your hand. Trash the rest. And then all turns, this Digimon gets 1k DP if, the inheritable. So that's pretty good. And honestly, it helps out a lot to have this card. You can probably cut it something to make 3 of, but I like it at 2 so far. But thanks to a new tamer we have, you don't really lose out on having Deadly Axemon. Then we play 4 copies of Skull Knightmon Mighty Axe Mode. So this is how we cheat out stuff, because this card says it is treated as both Skull Knightmon Deadly Axemon. For context, that does not mean if you want to Digicross Dark Knightmon, you can use 1 to beat the cost. No, it counts as either one. So, if you have Skull Knightmon but you don't have Deadly Axe, but you have this, you can use this, and vice versa. So, on play, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Knightmon, Deadly Axemon, or Nene from your hand to your hand, trash the rest. Then, if you Digicross this card with 2 cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4 cost DP 4, play cost 4 or less. And here's a Digicross of Dark Skull Knightmon and Deadly Axemon, so if you, for -1. So if you Digicross him, he's at 2 costs, which he's actually pretty good to go in turn 1 with. Because you can in turn 2 go into Dark Knightmon on top of him, and it's if you have Dark Knightmon, he's set up to be Dark Knightmon. He's set up to be pretty strong. Because then you have the sources to delete, and he's pretty much good to go. Only 2 of Skull Knightmon Cavalier mode. He does the same exact thing as this one, counts as Skull Knightmon or Deadly Axemon. But when you Digivolve into him, he gains jamming and blocker until the end of your opponent's turn, which is fine. So if you have, say, so if you have this underneath, if you have this with, like, say, the Reboot Skull Knightmon and Deadly Axemon, this thing is jamming with blocker, swings, and reboots, and there you go. It's pretty good. You can even go into this with, say, Skull Knightmon with Security Attack +1, and you're swinging for 2 checks with jamming, which early game is aggression, and you like the early game aggression a lot. At least what I've changed. I've changed up this build a few bits since my last time I played this, so... Alright, now for the mainstay of the deck. And by saying mainstay, I mean what the deck is all about, and it is 4 copies of BT10 Dark Knightmon. Or as I like to call, I don't know why I like to call this, I go, Dark Knightmon. I have no idea why, don't ask. So he is on play. Delete Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if you were Digicrossing using 2 cards, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. This can get rid of a lot of, like, your floodgates. This can get rid of a lot of, like, if your opponent's, like, putting out champions or, like, ultimates, this is fine. And then all turns, if he's would be deleted, you can return a card from his source and then play the other one. So, if you have Deadly Axemon and Skull Knightmon, you can return Skull Knightmon and then play Deadly Axemon for searching, depending which one you have. The ruling for this with, say, Crimson Blaze is that you just return, you don't play. You can still resolve that part of the effect. And then he is a Digicross -2 of Skull Knightmon and Deadly Axemon, so if you have the sources, he is a 4 cost. So he's really good for that case. And in most cases, he'll probably be the Dark Knightmon you go into the most, because just his effect is so good. And honestly, like, if you have it, you swing with this. If you have X antibody going to on top, so pretty good. You don't really need a lot of memory, and if it survives, it's gonna constantly replay itself. Next, we're only playing 2 copies of the EX04 Dark Knightmon. He is also a Digicross -2 of Skull Knightmon Deadly Axemon, so also a 4 cost. Deadly Axe, not deadly. Anyway. Until the end of your opponent's turn, when your Digimon gains blocker, and if Digicrossing, you Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. So, this is what I meant by you can give Deadly Axemon blocker, in case he doesn't have it. And then on deletion, reveal top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Blue Flare or Twilight in among them, and then trash the rest. Not as good as the other Dark Knightmon, but still decent. And then inheritable, he has an inheritable. When your since Digimon attacks, if this Digimon is Grey Knightmon, you may switch to target attacks to this Digimon. So if you have Grey Knightmon, this thing makes it attack it, so you're basically causing... Think Analog Man and Black War Greymon X, essentially. If you want to play this only at 1, it's fine, and replace it 4, because we're playing only right now 2 copies of BT7 Dark Knightmon. So, if you want to play more of this than the other one, that's perfectly fine. I can see why. So, this Dark Knightmon is a 7 cost, and on play, you may place a Skull Knightmon and an Axemon from your hand, or trash, underneath him, and when he's deleted, you may play 1 Skull Knightmon Deadly Axemon, and or from his sources, these cards suspended without playing the memory cost. So if this gets deleted, you play these 2 out. Pretty good. By the way, just off topic here, I love this artwork. I would want to get a 3rd one. So that's all our Dark Knightmons. We are playing a total of 8 ultimates, but we play most of the Digicross, so we're fine. For our level 6s, we're playing at the moment 4 copies of Dark Knightmon X Antibody. We're playing 3 copies of it. At the moment, I'll say this right now, I do feel you can bump this to 4. I would probably cut one of the rookies down for probably. Okay, so I might cut. I'll consider this, and I'll ask this in the comment section below. What do you think? I'm thinking of cutting either Chumon or Chikurimon for this and either a Quartzmon or a Death Xmon. So the question is, which of the 2 rookies, and then so the 4th of this, and then either Death X or Quartz. Leave it down in the comment section what you guys think. Anyway, yada yada yada. So did you vote for 4 on top of Dark Knightmon? So he's 5 on any other thing, but Dark Knightmon he's 4. When Digivolve, you return 1 black or purple Digimon card that has other than himself when we trashed your hand. Note, we had a gameplay at the beginning of BT10 where I played against Crossheart, and I did not read that part of the effect, except for himself. So I just kept cycling other Dark Knightmon's X's back to my hand, even though you can't do that. Then, if you have Dark Knightmon or the X Antibody in his sources, you can delete one of your opponent's tamers and unsuspend this Digimon. No, excuse me, you delete 1 tamer and then unsuspend this Digimon. So, I'll get to that combo. Oh, no, I'll explain it right now. So, if you have your Nene from BT10 on the field, and you have the Dark Knightmon, you swing the Dark Knightmon, it doesn't die. You go for 2 memory. You have 2 memory. You go into this, add back, delete the Nene. The Nene will give you back 2 memory and unsuspend this, so you can swing in for game essentially. And then on deletion, you may play a Dark Knightmon from your trash without paying memory costs. So if you play the BT8, the BT7, 10, or EX4, you can play them. For BT7, you'll get his sources. Do note for BT8 and EX04, or no, BT10 and EX04, you can always Digicross them. Because the Digicrossing is when you would play them. So just remember, you can Digicross them. And then finally, our level 6 is 1 copy of Grey Knightsmon. So yeah, I like the card. It's really good. So Grey Knightsmon, the defaults are 5, which is kinda eh. But you do Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, then all of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon can't attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So if you're like, I don't know, they put you at like 10 memory, you can Digicross this for 10 with your Dark Knightmon. And you basically just tell them, no, not fam. And then all turns when he will be deleted or returned to hand or deck, you may play 1 Metal Greymon and 1 Dark Knightmon from this card sources without paying the cost. So if you have both, you'll play them. I'm not playing Metal Greymon. You could if you want to. I'm not. So, and he's a Digicross -2, Metal Greymon and Dark Knightmon. So he's 10 cost usually. But you Digivolve him for 5. So if you have either Dark Knightmon works, and he's a big body. It's a good card. That's all our Digimon. We play a lot of Digimon in this deck, but we have to. So now we're gonna move on to Tamers, and we're starting off with the General of the Twilight. 3 copies of Nene Amano. We have BT10s, the pre-release, and the box topper. Ooh, I kind of want old TV box toppers. That story. Anyway. So she is on play. All your on play. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Knightmon, Deadly Axemon, or Twilight in its traits to your hand. Play the rest of them in any order. So you can add another copy for yourself if you see it. If it's the only option you add it. Or you can add the option card. Then all your opponent's turn, all your Digimon with Dark Knightmon or Twilight in their traits gain blocker. So this helps out a lot to just keep the game in your favor, not dying. And then on deletion, gain 2 memory, which is why you Dark Knightmon delete this. As a tamer effect, so your opponent cannot keep you from gaining the memory except by tamer effects. Cards stop it, like the memory blockers. This is a tamer effect. I've had people try to argue that. It doesn't work that way. But yeah. So since all the new Skull Knightmons are Twilight and Saber Deadly Axemon, the new ones are, you're able to constantly keep blockers on board, and you can search them. I mean, you can always search them thanks to her effect to search for Twilight or Dark Knight or Deadly Axemon. But alright, now we play the new kid in town. We played 2 copies of Kiriha and Nene. If you want, you can cut something to play in Izzy if you need the memory game, but you're fine. So this is card treated as both Nene and Kiriha. So if you're playing Blazing, like the blue flare trait, you can play this better. So all turns when you would play one card with Digimon card with blue flare or Twilight in his traits requirements. By suspending this tamer, you may place one card from under your tamers, and one card under your trash is the Digi cards for a Digi Cross. So as of right now, we don't care about the first part. Oh, and so all turns and beginning of your main phase, while there are 2 more Digimon to play, gain memory. So this constantly puts you at 2 at least. You don't care about the hand effect, or it's going to be underneath as the effect. You care about the ability to use the trash. I'll bring this up in a second, but that's all you care about at the moment. If you really want to, you can play some blue option cards thanks to having this blue. Like, you could play Sorai if you really wanted to. There's some text for that. You could. I might. I'm tinkering with this build as we go. So, yeah. It's really good. You can also play this off of the Skull Knightmon. Next, we play 3 copies of Pride Memory Boost. My pride. On play, look top 4. Up top 3. Play a black Digimon card with play cost of 4 less among them without paying the cost. Then trash the remaining cards. Then place in the battle area. And of course, delay, gate 2 memory, and then security. Play this. Since we play pretty much everything that has play cost 4 except for our high ends, you're going to hit more off of this than you think. And you're going to gain advantage off this. Like, if you play this, hit the Skull Knightmon that lets you play Nene, and you have Nene in hand. For 4 costs, not only did you get a body, but you got a Nene, which is going to net you another card. So yeah, you play this. So if you have 5, you play this. Play the Skull Knightmon, you're already getting one. Then play the Nene, you're getting another card. So you pretty much equalize what this card gave you. So this one's pretty good. And then our last card at the moment is 1 Immortal Ruler or Undying King, which I think sounds better, but what do I know? So Immortal Ruler is while you have a Nene, or Nene and Kiriha, because it counts as Nene. You may use the card while playing the color requirement, so if you're black and purple. You mill the top 3, then you play a Dark Knightmon from your trash by playing its cost. If you play a Digimon card with Digi-Cross requirements, you may use this card from your trash as a Digi-Cross. So if you go into Dark Knightmon for 7, you go 7, then put the cards underneath. If you go for the ones for 4, you go for 4. You don't gain rush. I wish there was a way to get rush for the Dark Knightmon, but there is not. Oh well. Sucks. Oh, and as hidden security, just add to your hand. Pretty standard, if I do say so myself. Alrighty, so I mentioned something earlier. So we are getting a new Skull Knightmon. Isaac, look for this symbol here. It'll be here. Post editing, Isaac put this in. And it's because, on deletion, you may play 1 tamer card with Nene or Uemano in its name, but from your hand or trash while paying its cost, then save. And then in turn, while this Digimon is a level 5 or higher and has the Bogger Army or Twilight trait, this Digimon gains security attack +1. So, yeah. Anyway, so the reason that's really good is, so let's you play a Nene or you, then save. So, you can play this Kiriha Nene, and now you can have a Skull Knightmon that's going to get you this. And it goes under your tamer, so you can suspend and Digi-Cross from your hand or from your trash, and this, so you never have to use your hand as much. So that's going to be definite 4 of. I'll say that's a definite 4 of, because it doesn't matter if you have Kiriha, if you don't have Nene. So a lot of the Digimon that play a tamer will have the effect if you don't have. So that Skull Knightmon does not have that effect. So you can play that Nene if you already have Nene. So if you already have this, you can play the other Nene. Then put this underneath. Then look. It's pretty good. I like it. Yeah. So currently that's the build. I'm gonna do some more tweaks to it. This is based off a few other lists I've seen. As of right now, this is what I've tinkered with. I like it. Like I said, I will probably edit it again later. But for right now, this is what we're playing it. Like I said, the text, I do definitely want to consider maybe playing a fourth copy. I do want to play a fourth copy of Dark Knightmon X, and I do probably want to fit in a Death X or a Quartz. Leave it down in the comment section which one you guys think is the better option. Also, let me know, are you Team Knightmon or Team Dark Knightmon? Yeah, I'm asking that question. We asked the real tough questions here. Anyway, I'm just being a dork. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this deck profile. Do I think this is going to be competitive? I think it's going to be a deck that's highly playable, to quote the Eggman, as he calls a lot of things, as he calls in his highly competitive list. But I don't know if it's going to get there. Because it's like, okay, so you can de-digivolve, which is nice, but if you can't out the body that you just de-digivolved, what are you going to do? I mean, seriously, that's the problem. What do you do? That's what I mean. It's like, okay, yeah, you can, again, you have to be able to de-digivolve and out the body. If you're at if you're once at a mega and you're de-digivolve on an ultimate, if they can get the mega out again, then what are you doing? That's why I've played against channel member Isaac's Blackwell Greymon, and yeah, he gets Blackwell Greymon out, but we can't really out the Dark Knight, the Greymon. So yeah, as of right now, this does get the Golden State Kings seal of approval. But I'd say play this if you want to have some fun. This is a really fun deck. On Saturdays, my locals does a kind of lower tier deck fun buildness thingy, and I've taken Dark Knightmon and won there. I've been taken on our Monday tournaments, which are much more competitive, and won with Dark Knightmon in the previous build. So yeah, I like Dark Knightmon. I think it's a really good deck. Again, you can change up. You can take out the rookies for more security bombs. I'm probably going to change it up. I still want to play Shikari. I think Shikari is the better rookie to play, so I might change up the build, how I said. But I'll check again. Are there any other profiles you want to see for EX04? Right now, we are currently only playing... Isaac will have a Shine Greymon list if he wants to put it up, and I just did this one. That's all for EX04. At the moment, I'm still working on Armor Rush, so when Armor Rush is done, you'll see Armor Rush. But, yeah. Sorry for rambling, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content. Make sure to, of course, like, comment, subscribe, as I said earlier. Do everything like that. And have a good one. Bye-bye.